So we're here with Justin Levy at Content Marketing World. Welcome, Justin.
Thank you.
So what are you here to talk about?
I'm here tomorrow to speak about Wikipedia and how it has an effect on brands and how brands should think about it a bit differently. So many brands, here and at other events, talk about Twitter and Facebook and what your strategy is towards blogs and things of that nature. But Wikipedia, for all of our brands, if you're a large enough brand to have a Wikipedia page, it's the number 2 or number 3 search result in social or in search. And so many brands don't take advantage of that and pay attention to it. So that we're going to try to address those issues and give some helpful tips, because my company has been on about 3-year journey with Wikipedia and updating all of our articles and kind of learning the ways to navigate Wikipedia.
If you can give us a little preview, what are some tips that companies should think about when they update their Wikipedia page?
So one of the largest tips is that you have to have third-party references when you do this. So you can't use your company articles or say your blog post or things of that nature. You have to have roughly about 5 third-party articles. So say profiles about your executive or mentions in an article in Forbes or New York Times or whatever that may be. But they look for about 5 articles, third-party articles. The other thing is that Wikipedia is made up of the editors are a community of volunteers. Mm-hmm. So they have to be treated that way. And so a lot of people try to pressure them and try to not be thankful of the work that they do. Mm-hmm. And so they don't have to focus on your brand if they don't want to. A lot of the editors tend to lean towards things that they care about, whether that's sports or other areas, celebrities or whatnot. So they don't want to work on a B2B brand article, right? They prefer to work on other pieces. So learning about those editors and working with them is something you have to kind of know about. And then the editors, you have to work through editors. So understanding how that process is, you can't just and shouldn't just go in and try to edit your page. Mm-hmm. You have to submit asks and then have that editor or an editor try to make that change for you. And so there's this whole kind of back and forth that has to happen behind the scenes for those changes to happen.
When did you realize that Wikipedia was so important to your strategy?
Well, it was, like I said, probably about 3 years ago. I was just happening to look at our page, and we needed, if you look in that right-hand sidebar, there was some old revenue numbers there for our main page, for the Citrix page. And so I asked internally, who owns the Wikipedia page? And I got told that I do. And so we went and found an agency who specializes in Wikipedia, among a number of colleagues that I asked across multi-billion-dollar companies, and they had all referred me to this one agency. And so we brought them on board, and the first step was to do an audit of our entire Wikipedia presence, because through acquisitions, we had these presences all over the place. This company, that company, this product page that shouldn't be a product because it's a company that we've acquired, or right. All of these things. So we did an audit of all that, and then we obviously decided to start with the Citrix page because that's our main page. And as we started to go through it, there were a lot more inaccuracies than we realized, right? It was a lot easier just to update those revenue numbers. But as we started to look at it, there were a number of inaccuracies or things that need to be updated about the company. And so that was where we really started, and then we started to tick off kind of all the other kind of prioritized pages from there.
Right.
Deleting pages and moving pages. We just went in, just recently spun off a number of our products to another company. And so part of that recent update was having to get all those product pages spun off to this company to have our page updated with that language.
How do you fit in the other social channels into your strategy?
Yeah, so, we look at all of the main pages and channels as core to what we do. The corporate account and the core product accounts that we have, so we have 5 core products within the company, and then obviously our corporate accounts, my team is in direct kind of management of. And then the other channels, be they our corporate responsibility channel or another product channel or our international channels, we help to set the strategy for those. And with our international channels, we help scale through our marketing and PR managers in those countries, because those PR managers within those countries have to do everything instead of our US-based team, which we have teams of people. We have a team that does employee comms, and we have a PR team, analyst relations team. Overseas, it's 1 or 2 people that are responsible for all of that. So we scale social internationally through those folks who are supported by agencies.
Right. What have you learned in your time doing your job?
It is so many people, when I speak to other folks in the industry and a lot of people that attend these conferences, one, there is still a lot of 101 level stuff. It's necessary. There are a lot of people that are just coming into social. You have a lot of veterans of social that want to move that conversation beyond that, but there's still a need to teach social media and what to do right and wrong and the do's and don'ts. Additionally, I think that so many people don't pay attention to the need to think about the legalities around social. So, one of the things that I'm fortunate to have is I have a very close working relationship with our general counsel and our global security officer. And one of the reasons around that is because of the level of things that we deal with is impactful. It's not just how we use Twitter. That's part of our conversation, and we have to have a social media strategy for how we manage our communities. But you also have to understand what happens in times of crisis, and what's happening with the FCC and the National Labor Relations Board when they make rulings about social media, and what's happening with legal changes, and to be able to bring things that we want to do within our social channels and have legal review and approve it, because there are times that you want to talk about something sensitive and legal needs to weigh in on that. Also, there are times when there's something going on from a security perspective, whether we've had different situations happen where our security organization reaches out and says, this is exactly the message we need to communicate to our prospects and our customers.
Right.
And it's not our team just deciding what to put out there, it's us in consult with legal and security to decide what they want to communicate and then adjust it based on that, right? They might tell us 3 sentences that are 250 characters, then we have to start to pick out those words and tell them, this is what we can go with, and try to kind of manage that. So I think that that's really important. A lot of people come in a bit immature or look at community management as opposed to everything else that is needed.
What do you read to stay relevant in your job?
I read, nowadays I used to read 500 or 600 blogs every day, but now as time has advanced, I rely on kind of some of that information to come into me. Scott Monte's Flipboard magazine, and then obviously his newsletter that comes out of that. Scott's a dear friend of mine, and he's been curating that for some time now. There are a few other newsletters that I rely on to kind of deliver that news. And then I also rely on a lot of traditional media to read, be it the New York Times or Wall Street Journal or Washington Post, CNN and USA Today, and things of that nature to stay updated on what's going on more broadly.
Right.
Because a lot of times that will lend itself to what we may deal with as a company.
Right.
Because my team executes social media, but our company is a Fortune 1000 company that has to understand what's happening. And similar to what I was saying about the legal aspects and the security aspects of the company, you also have to know what's happening legally too, and what's happening in the world and how that impacts everything that you're doing as a company. And that helps you to see the broader picture.
Right. You're also passionate about life hacks.
I am.
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so one of the things that I do as a hobby or whatever you want to call it is to try to always improve, my productivity, but also kind of my health and fitness. So on the productivity side, there are simple things that you can do to try to improve in everyday repetitive tasks, right? There are several different apps out there that will help form fill kind of things that you always say. So if at the end of every email you say thanks, comma, enter your name, whatever that is, there are apps that you can have do that for you at a keystroke, right? At just typing the letter T, or you find yourself having to type in your address, be it home or work, a lot of times you can make that a shortcut to, whatever, Control J or whatever that is, because that's taken a lot of your time that it shouldn't need to be. Gmail has started to build in some of these features. And on the health and fitness side, that's been a passion of mine for about 15, 20 years. And there's just a lot baked into that, right? It's not just around lifting weights or whatnot. It's around, helping people and talking to people about how they can just start to be more healthy. And it's not, I want to lose 20 pounds. It's, I want to get stronger. I want to lose weight just to be in shape for this part of my life. Or I want to, so I run a lot of Spartan races. And that's a different level of fitness than being bulky and muscled. And it's different than being kind of skinny and real thin. It's functional muscle. So I try to, a lot of my time split between those two.
Great. Is there anything that you want to add?
No, I think that everyone should use Flipboard. I think it's a great resource to find news and to find whatever your passions are.
Yep.
You can pull in a lot of content, obviously, and make it a central repository for content. I've been around since the beginning of Flipboard, so it's been great to see it kind of grow over time. And I wish you guys, obviously, all the luck as you continue to grow the platform.
Thank you so much. It's great to have you here, Justin.
Thank you.